When anybody thinks of working on the topic of menstruation, they think that, okay, let's distribute sanitary napkins and you're done. But it's not just that. Community toilets, when we started assessing them across the city, we didn't find any of them clean. And when I say that it is unhygienic to a point of to an extent that you cannot use it, you know. And when we visited them, we saw that it was a very uh, pitiful situation, because in absence of any dustbin, we saw that the women were actually sticking their soiled sanitary napkins inside the windows of each of these toilet blocks. So any of the toilet you went to, any of the community toilet you went to, you are ought to find sanitary napkins stuck in the windows. But it's piling up. So anywhere you go, even behind the community toilets, you see piles of sanitary napkins there, which was a very sorry picture. You have got a jet spray, you've got a urinal. So you don't find a urinal in a women's toilet, you would find that in a gents toilet. So we couldn't find a urinal in the market because there's no such product that people use. So we actually innovated and used a wash basin, the most elongated wash basin, as a urinal, because our survey also said that women, when they're changing their menstrual hygiene product, there is a sensation of urination. So if they want to urinate, they have this space. When they squat, you have the jet spray to your left, because if you're using a menstrual cup, you can use your right hand. Then there is a running tap water right in front of you, which is at your shoulder length. Then you have the dustbin, which is created in a manner that opens from the bottom. So there's a slider from the bottom, so one can actually dispose the soil sanitary napkin from the top. But when the helper comes, they don't. So it's a contactless mechanism. So they have to just open that lid, hold the bag down, and it comes down, and they have to basically take it. So they are not touching the sanitary napkins, which was happening until now, because somebody had to come and touch the soil sanitary. In several places in Nepal, also in South India, over the years we have experienced that girls are actually forced to sleep separately or go separately during their menstrual period. And we don't want people to go in that line of thought that, a separate room. So the good point is actually the period room is inside the women's toilet block. So it's not like a separate standalone room which even the men have a kind of they can view, etc. The entire design of it, the color of it, is what we've thought through all of those factors as well. So you see the tiles, it is white. So it's not something dark which kind of puts like very sad picture of it. Also, when we inaugurated it, we used flowers, etc., to make it look beautiful and a place where you would want to be, and not a stinky or not kept, well maintained place. The entire toilet block has been painted with beautiful pictures. So you have these cartoons, women who are very happy, they have happy faces, and you have this block which is called Palichi Kholi, and they are all running towards that room. So even through pictorial kind of enforcement, we are trying to build up a very nicer picture of this place, a happy place where you would want to spend some time. When anybody thinks of working on the topic of menstruation, they think that, okay, let's distribute sanitary napkins and you're done. But it's not just that. In these years, I have found that it's not just about product. It's about all of the different sections that play in a woman's life when she's managing menstruation. So definitely it's the product. One of it is also accessibility to the product, also your liberty to choose the product, also the affordability of the product. So there are subsections in product itself, and then you move on to what are the kind of taboos that you're following inside your home. Then what's the kind of approach that your husband has, father-in-law has, mother-in-law has, your daughter has, etc. So what's the role that your family plays? What's the role that society plays? What's the role that school plays, college plays, office plays? And we've not even reached how are periods being managed by disabled girls, girls who do not have legs, girls who do not have hands. So, there are n number of factors that play when you speak about menstruation, which is encompassed with this complex layer of patriarchy. I think, menstrual equity is also one of the topics that is evolving, and we are very glad that it is evolving. Many Western nations are talking about it, and even when we are talking about a period room, it factors into that. So it is about menstrual equity. It is not just about product, it's also about how you dispose it. It's not just about having a toilet, but also about having access to water, also about safety, etc. So yeah, I think period room will start a holistic conversation around menstruation, and we aim to do that.